Hello, folks.
And here we come, Cup. My delivery is struggling.
I don't know. I liked it.
Here we come, Cup.
It was good.
Here we come, Cup.
Some of you are like, what in the world are they talking about? Hey, that means you need to be a weekly listener.
That's right.
You can't miss one. If you miss one, you're not going to get the inside jokes, and we want you to be a part of the fun. Be a part of our family.
Yes.
We are Rusty and Heather Bryant. We are the Redeemed Marriage. Welcome to our podcast. We are so glad you're here. We are like probably close to 160 episodes. We've been doing this for quite a few years, and we do not miss.
We do not
every
miss.
Monday, and that's something that we can be really proud of.
Yes.
So we are in the middle, not the middle. We are towards the end of our summer short series where we have been actually answering your questions. You guys have been sending in questions. We have had lots and lots and lots, well over 100 questions that have come in. We have loved reading those. We're going to try to find ways that we can continue answering them even after we're done with our Summer Shorts podcast series. But if you still want to submit and be a part of the grand prize drawing, you have a few more weeks to do that. So go to our website, theredeemedmarriage.com, and click on Contact up at the top. There's a drop-down menu, and you can click on Ask, ASK.
Yep.
And click on that, and it will take you to a form where you just ask us any question, and it'll come to us. If we read it on the air and answer your question on the air, on the podcast, then you're going to win some Redeemed Marriage swag. And I'm wearing all of the Redeemed Marriage swag today.
You are.
So I actually have on the trucker hat. I have on the Redeemed Marriage shirt, T-shirt. And right here, I have actually have the notebook / journal.
And here is
and
the
you have
tumbler.
the tumbler.
And if you're like, I can't see that, it's because you're not on YouTube.
Yep, and that's fine. We want you. I know I listen to podcasts, but we also have the video version on YouTube, and we would love for you to go subscribe to our YouTube channel anyway. Because we have other videos that we put up from time to time, and we're really going to continue making an effort to do more videos, especially now that summer is over, and maybe we'll have some time.
To be fair, summer is not over for everybody.
Nope, just
for me. Our local schools, if you're listening to this live on Monday, our kids come back today. For our school year. Yes, it's early, but we have about 7-8 weeks for summer for the kids, and then we have 2-week breaks. So we teach 9 weeks, and then we're off 2, 9, 2, 9, 2. So it's great once we get started, but gosh, going back in the middle of July is tough. So I've already started back, and so our summer's coming to an end.
But that's going to give us our chance to do the grand prize.
That's right.
Because we didn't finish telling you, if you submit a question, and we will draw from every question, not just from the ones that we actually answered. We will draw, and if you win, we're going to come visit you. We're going to come knock on your door, and we're going to go take you on a double date, and it's going to be so much fun. So, hopefully that's going to be able to happen in the fall. We have that 2-week break, and we have a little window of time that we're going to hopefully come and visit you and take you on that double date and just get a chance to hang out and encourage each other in our marriage journeys. That's what the goal is.
So today's question will not be in that drawing.
I'm so sad.
So sad too, but he asked a great question. He is from the UK.
That would be the
that
United
would be
Kingdom.
The United Kingdom. I mistakenly tried to call it the Magic Kingdom. And
he lives at Disney World.
He lives at Disney.
Wait, is this from Mickey Mouse?
No, it is not. Okay, here is the question from the United Kingdom. How did Heather's cancer diagnosis affect reconciliation? And did the health crisis focus and confirm your commitment to each other?
I like that. I think I like that question so much because this person knows us. Like, they've listened enough to
I was
because
I don't know him.
No, we don't.
But he
Hey,
just knows us because he's
we would
been
love to
listening.
know you.
That's right. But we can't draw your name
but
unless you buy our plane ticket.
True. And then we may rig it. Okay, I love that's what I've wanted from this podcast and this ministry that we have been able to start, is that people feel like they know us.
That's right.
We are so real life people. And so what you hear and what you see is exactly what you get. But I love the fact, because we don't talk about your cancer journey a lot. We've had a couple of episodes here and there that we've maybe talked about it a little bit more, but that just means that this listener, like, he's all in, like he's
That's
really listening, and that is just super cool to me. So if you don't know our story, or Heather's our story, but 2017. You were diagnosed in 2016.
16, I was diagnosed.
At the very end of 2016.
In October.
In October, yep. So Heather found a lump and ended up being breast cancer.
And I'll do my shameless plug right here. I had a mammogram in March of that year, and in October I found it on my own.
Yep.
So even if you have mammograms, you should often do self-exams, self-checks, and self-checks. And if you feel something, don't be afraid to ask about it. There's my shameless plug.
Yep. So we got in really quick to see doctors, and they told us from the very beginning, they said it's an aggressive form of cancer, but we caught it really, really early. And so they said, this is going to be a year of your life. And so she started chemo treatments. We did 6 before.
Yeah, I did 6 rounds of chemo that had 4...
4 drugs in each.
What are those? 4 chemo drugs in each one. And then I had a double mastectomy. Now, those first 6 months, they made me sick and my hair fell out and all of that.
Right.
That was the rough part. Then I had a double mastectomy in March of 2017. And then after my double mastectomy, I had 6 more rounds of just one chemo drug. And it wasn't bad. My hair started coming back. The only thing that got affected were like my nails and my toenails and my fingernails.
I think you're actually wrong. I think you had 11 more. I think it was 17 total.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Because it lasted all the way until the next, basically November.
I gotcha.
I think your last one was in November, but I'm pretty sure it was 11 more. But yeah, they weren't as bad. They were. And the great thing is that even
bad.
when they did the surgery, and this is a story, a big God story in and of itself. So we won't go into all that. But they did tell us that there was no sign of the cancer.
Yep.
So anyway, a year later, after the whole thing, and then you just weren't finished having surgeries, and you were like, let's just do the whole hysterectomy thing.
Complete hysterectomy, all the things.
Yep. So it was a year, little over a year of our lives. So that was just for you guys to understand the journey. Heather's infidelity took place in 2011. So this was 5 years later. Almost exactly 5 years later, and then the year journey that we went through. So the question was, how did that play into our story of reconciliation and restoration? And it's a great question, and one that really hits home to me in a lot of ways, but we were doing, by year 5, we were doing really, really good in our marriage. Had, lots and lots of healing. Our marriage had been restored. We were happy. But, there was just always, and it's never easy. It's not like even today. The pain of it all still makes it difficult. But there was just always this somewhere inside of me wondering, have I really completely forgiven her? I know that I had, but there was just always this, I don't know, maybe I just wanted something that I just knew. And I've shared this with lots of couples, and especially couples that we've done marriage coaching with. But when you were diagnosed, I mean, from the moment that I found out, I would have given anything to take the cancer for you, and without a thought. And after I knew that, and after I even expressed that, that was when I was like, wow. I mean, I have come a long way, and we have come a long way. Mm-hmm. And because, I jokingly say this, but
yeah, you said it last week
about getting hit by a bus.
That's right.
Well, let's just make sure we make that a point every week that I say, I wanted you to get by.
Folks. Here we come, Cub. I want her to get hit by a bus.
Not wanted.
Wanted.
But I knew that to come 5 years later, like, not only did I not want you to die, but I would have taken it for you because I didn't want you to go through any of that pain. Like, I would have taken it for you. So I think that it was definitely just an affirmation. And so some of you that are listening, you may not even, you may be thinking, how does this really apply to me? And when we were reading the question earlier, I said the thing about marriage crises, when something happens in your marriage, it's not going to be the last thing that you deal with. Now, hopefully, if you've been through what we went through, hopefully it is the worst thing, but then there will be something else. And
it's different. Like that was hard, but it was a different hard. So, I hear people say, that has to be the worst thing that you can go through. But it's just worst, but different. Like cancer for me was the worst thing health-wise that I could go through, but it was just a different kind of pain and a different kind of trial than my infidelity in our marriage.
And of course, other things will come along as you're married, and there'll be deaths of loved ones. There'll be, other tragedies that take place, or even just, struggles like financial things and, things that deal with your kids and all of those things. And, no matter what your past is, but especially if your past has been something as devastating as infidelity, then you really do have a choice. Do you just let this new tragedy and this new devastation tear you apart, or is it something that you have become so much of a team together that all it really does is just strengthen your relationship? And I know for us, that is exactly what happened. I don't remember who I was telling the story. We were talking to somebody the other day, and I was talking about the stripping your drains.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that like you became a caregiver for me. And, in those early days, like when chemo started having effects on me, like just weakness, nauseous, just the stomach issues that I was having, like you were my person that I talked to about those things and shared with you, because it wasn't for the world to know that, that I was not doing well physically, but you were my person that I could share that with. And you knew all the things. And then you becoming my caregiver during the double mastectomy, and even little things like me coming home from work that time because I could not hold my head up 2 days after chemo. And I slept from the moment I came home until until the whole next morning. And I just remember waking up and there being a blanket on me. And like you took care of me when I wasn't feeling well. And then you having to strip drains. Now, I get it. This isn't a medical show, and that may gross some people out. But you had to do some stuff, like measure liquidy, fluidy stuff from surgery that I'm like, oh my gosh. And like you had an accident with it. Like so one of the things he had to do was measure how much fluid was coming off the surgery site or out of the surgery site. And it was like a little suction cup, right?
Like a bulb.
Yeah. And you would squeeze it and the stuff would come out and you would measure how much it is. And obviously you want that amount to go down and down and down and down, less and less. So one time I was sitting in the bed. He was doing that for me. I mean, because you can't do it by yourself.
Right.
So, like, it has to be.
Yeah, because you have to strip the drain. Yeah. Like, you have to grab it and squeeze it to get everything.
Yeah. So I was sitting there, not feeling great. But anyway, and so you squeezed to mush the stuff out. And it wouldn't come out. And you were like, what in the world? What in the world? And then just squeezed it really hard. And this clump came out like a bullet and hit in the liquid that you had already. And it just went whoosh, all over me. All over me, face, my face, the wall,
the bed. It looked like somebody had come in and shot us up. Just shot the place up.
And here's the thing. Here's my reaction. Like, you were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Until you realized that it was fine. And I laughed about it. And then we both laughed about it. And
we laughed.
Yes.
But then I had to clean it up. That wasn't funny. But
there's things about the that just drew us closer together because we were the only two that experienced it. It wasn't for anybody else. It was just us. It was some good things, some hard things, some gross things, some sweet things. There were lots of things that we got to experience that I feel like drew me closer to you as a caregiver. I also think back to the time where I just remember laying in bed and thinking that I don't think I would have walked my cancer journey well if we had not walked through infidelity, because I fell in love with Jesus during that time when I was learning to trust and learning who he was and that he loved me anyway. During the time of post-infidelity, that I fell in love with him, and I was able to see his faithfulness through our journey with infidelity. I was able to see his unfailing love for me. And so I knew that even though I had breast cancer, that he was faithful and that he had unfailing love for me. And so me being able to draw on that strength, I think we were able to walk through the journey well through cancer. I think about people who have maybe lost a child, or the unimaginable things of tough things that you can walk through in marriage as a couple. And they really have a tendency to either glue you closer together or tear you apart. And we had that choice. And I'm not saying that every day was wonderful. We had hard days where I didn't feel good. I doubted at the very beginning. I remember you had to talk me down off a cliff because I was like, I got this cancer because of what I did, and you talking me through truth and through scripture and reminding me of who I was and reminded me of how God loves me through that. So in my opinion, answering this question is so easy because it 100% made me fall in love with you even more.
Yeah. And so much of that is just because we were a team.
Yeah.
And we had figured out for 5 years how to become a team. And something hit and we walked together as a team. And there's been other things that have come up over the last 13 years since infidelity that we have had to deal with kids and other things that happened with them, and but all along the way we've just learned how to journey together, and that's the key. And so so if you're going through something that's hard, let it be an opportunity to strengthen your relationship with your spouse, and not pull you away from your spouse. So, all right. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
I think we really did a
Kinda
summer short. Summer short. Summer short. Summer short. Almost ran out of breath.
Oh, boy. So, hey, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.